So I figured it's going to be a while before I get back to playing Dark Souls 3. So I decided to give you guys a little something special. I decided to actually. So for the time being, I've decided to go pretty much way back to when the Soul series first began. Uh, and yeah, I'm talking about Demon Souls. So. I figured I might as well play this one, considering that I've already finished it. I've already finished this game once, and I've actually been going through the other Souls games in my own time. That way, I could actually get some practice in them before I start doing them, start streaming them again. But anyway, let's do this. And my Discord is up, which is also not good. And all right, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, Demon Souls, how I missed you. By the way, anyone in the chat, feel free to let me know if the audio is too quiet. On the first day, man was granted a soul, and with it clarity. On the second day, upon Earth was planted an irrevocable poison, a soul-devouring demon. I forgot how cheesy the music in this game is. What an intro that was. And of course we'll be starting a new game. Now the online portion of this game has actually been discontinued, so you will not be seeing any Black Phantoms or messages on the ground or what have it. Now I have heard that ever since the servers were discontinued, they have actually Some fans have actually made their own servers for this game, basically restoring the online functions to it. However, I'm not sure what you have to do to get onto them, but I'm pretty sure there's some tutorial online that explains how. Anyway. Also, rule number 1 of Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 1 for that matter, never go as the Knight class, because that armor is just going to weigh you down like there's no tomorrow. Alright, and to start things out, I'm just going to go with the Soldier class. Alright. Now I need to think of a name for my character. You know what? I'm gonna go with one of my favorite names that I came up with years ago. There we go. Raijin it is. I'll just go ahead and give him silver hair. And I think we should be good to go.
King Allant XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valarfax of the Royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Allant had aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls also lose their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valarfax spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls.
Tile drop.
Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force. And the power of a mature demon soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land, but none have returned. Bjor of the Twin Fangs, Yurt the Silent Chief, Sage Urbane, Skurver the Wanderer, the Sixth Saint Astraea and her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
Well, only one way to find out. Now I'm gonna play the Journey to the Nexus because that's technically the tutorial portion of this game.
Brave soul who fears not death. I shall guide you. So that you may lull the old one back to slumber.
Alright, so our journey begins. And I'm gonna remove some equipment just to help my dodge a bit. Also, unlike in Dark Souls, the enemies at the beginning do not drop a whole lot of souls. There is a way to get a ton of them from. There is a way to get a ton of souls, but it's mainly from bosses and a certain later part of the game. You also have Crescent Moongrass, which are basically your healing items. This was before Estus Flasks. And don't worry too much about fall damage, because unlike other Souls games, this game has the most forgiving fall damage that I've seen. At least outside of Sekiro, so... Goodbye. Jeez, it feels so weird being back to this game, I tell you. There we go. It's gonna take me a while to get used to the parrying in this game again, especially considering I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 2 lately. Alright, so, and up ahead we're gonna come across our first boss. However, now, normally you're not really supposed to win this fight, but if you actually manage to defeat it, if you manage to defeat him, then you not only get its soul, but you also get its, but you also get transported to the dragon god's domain pretty early on. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this or not, but if I do die in this run, then thankfully I have made another save file ahead of time just to show you. Got it. Yeah, the key to defeating is just to stay behind it as much as possible. Because trust me, a single swing from that axe can actually take out most of your health. And we get the Great Demon Soul. That being said, if we're able to defeat the Vanguard, we actually get teleported here. Now I know you can actually find some items here, if I remember properly. Yep, we get some full moon grass. Oh yeah. By the way, that's the Dragon God. Basically the demon we saw in the opening. The demon we saw in the opening of this game. Now, we can't really kill it right now. Because the moment we get near it, it's basically just gonna kill us instantly. But we will be coming back to this area much later on. Well, not this exact area, but we will be coming back to this boss. Yep, there we go.
Strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. This is the Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones will connect into another.
And now we get teleported into the Nexus. Also, if you die to the Vanguard, you also get sent here, so yeah. But anyway, while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and read some of the item descriptions, because I know that there are certain items in this game that can actually add to the lore of this game as well. Crescent Moongrass, a medicinal herb named for the lunar phase, recovers a small amount of the user's HP. The effect of moon herbs changes according to the condition they're in. Crescent moon herbs are picked when they are very young. Half moon grass. Half moon herbs are picked when they are withered. Full moon herbs are collections of wilted herbs that emit a faint light even in their wilted state. Soldier's Lotus, the petal of a blue flower that floats on water, stops the user's bleeding. In Boletarian war ceremonies, it was passed to the soldiers going into battle with a semi-symbolic meaning. Nexual Binding, the symbol of those imprisoned in the Nexus. Having this ties you to the Nexus, even if you lose your physical body. You cannot die, and your soul remains trapped in the Nexus. The Nexual Binding sends the user back to the Nexus upon death, but all souls collected will be lost. Unknown Soldier Soul. The remnants of a nameless soldier's spirit that remained in its corpse. Use it and souls will be added to your stock. Even if you leave this be, it will only become nourishment for demons, in which case... And the same goes for renowned soldier souls. Grey Demon Soul. The soul of the demon Vanguard. It radiates strong power. Grants the holder a large number of souls when used. Alternatively, it can be used in spells, miracles, or weapons. Shard of Hardstone. A shard of hard ore. Enhances straight swords, axes, hammers, and so on. A basic ore that evenly increases the power of a weapon. Weapons can be strengthened by hardstones up to a maximum of level 10. Augite of Souls. A stone radiant with the light of souls. The color of the light changes according to the souls in the area. It was made by Guri, a friend of Sage Frake, who is known for his magical crafts. Since it's light and easy to handle, it is widely used by travelers. Broadsword, a straight sword with a wide blade, made especially for slashing. A slashing weapon that inflicts heavy damage on soft flesh, but has a limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. Still, its thrust attacks make up for that weakness. Short spear, a standard spear. It's like a rapier, but with a long reach. Spears have a narrow attack range, but deal heavy damage. They work well against metal armor and hard scales, but are easily parried and have difficulty breaking enemies' guard. It is possible to attack with one shield up while using a spear. Soldier's Shield. A small wooden shield used by soldiers. With strategic points reinforced by metal, its durability is higher than that of an ordinary wooden shield. Bolt. A standard bolt used with a crossbow. Range attacks require that both a crossbow and bolts be equipped. Plate Helmet. An iron helmet commonly found on soldiers. It's simple but reasonably tough. Its heaviness slightly impedes stamina regeneration. And same goes for most of the same goes for the rusty armor set. But yeah.
Well, you slipped through the fissure too, did you? You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Hunting for demons?
More creepy laughing.
Try one of the Archstones. Now go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria. You came for demon souls? Or to save this? It's all the same. You're just another prisoner of the Nexus. We're welcome here, as long as we keep slashing up demons. You came for demon...
Alright, let's talk to everyone else while we're here.
I'm Stockpile Thomas. When the Scourge came, I didn't know what hit me. When I came to, I found myself here, in the Nexus. My wife and daughter fell victim to the demons. But I would be worthless in battle. At the very least, I hope to lend my assistance to you brave slayers of demons. I would be happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage. When the Scourge came, I abandoned my wife and daughter and fled like a madman.
Wow.
When I came to, I was in the Nexus. I haven't dared venture outside these walls since. I wish I could do more, but I am ignorant of the world beyond these walls. That Candle Maiden cared for me during my first days in the Nexus. She says very little, but has a kind heart. She's just the age my young daughter would have been. The poor, poor girl. Trapped here with her eyes occluded by wax. If only something could be done to help her. If only something could be done to help.
But yeah, this is basically where you can actually store items. In fact, you're going to be using this a lot because, well, to put it simply, as you notice, there's an item burden system in this game, which basically means that you can only carry up. Well, each and every item, including your healing items, actually has weight to them. Which means that if you go past a certain load, like for instance, my maximum load right now is 98. But yeah, if you go up to that load, then you can't really carry any more items. There's a reason why they never brought this back in other Souls games. But yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and lighten the load a bit.
Rest assured, your goods are safe and sound with me. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you.
You new here? You here for my services? The name's Baldwin. Just an ordinary blacksmith. It's simple. Just bring me all the souls you can. In trade, I'll give you weapons, or forge ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living. And with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, huh?
Yeah, it's not a bad deal at all. Now this heater shield I most definitely want later on. Because that actually has better damage reduction than my current shield.
Do come back alive. I need your business.
Oh my. How has this happened? Has God abandoned us for failing to show proper respect to King Alant? Oh, Mbasa. Oh.
Well then. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and go into one of the first areas of the game. Well, our first real area of the game, to be exact. I forgot these areas have their own descriptions as well. Oh well, I can always read it later on. Once I get back to the Nexus. Well, that's lovely. Also, I forgot to mention, you may actually notice that my HP is now at half, that it's normal total. That's mainly because whenever you, for those of you who've never played Souls games before, that's mainly because whenever you die, you basically go into soul form. There are two ways to and there are two ways to revive yourself, either by using a Stone of Ephemeralize or by defeating a boss. However, at the same time, you kind of want to stay in soul form because there's a bit of a mechanic that's well, if you don't know how to. There's a certain mechanic that if you don't know how to handle it, it can actually fuck with your game, and that's Dark World Tendency. Basically, whenever you die in human form, the area that you're in, its world tendency actually decreases, and the lower your Dark World tendency is, the stronger the enemies become. But yeah. In fact, Dark World Tendency was actually even worse when you were doing multiplayer, because your Dark World Tendency was also affected by other players' deaths as well, which meant that that anyone could just kill themselves over and over again, and all of a sudden another player's Dark World Tendency would just be in an all-time low without them even realizing it. Now there are worlds of restoring ways of restoring Dark World Tendency, and one of them is by defeating bosses. The other is also by defeating Black Phantoms. But yeah, that's another mechanic that they never brought back in other Souls games for good reason. We get some fire bombs. Ugh. I really need to get used to parrying this game again. dead. Wow, he just went flying. And from that area, we get a bastard sword. Also, I will warn you, don't go this way yet because there's actually a certain knight over here that you're not supposed to kill yet. And trust me, he does a lot of damage. I did not mean to use any of that late move grass. Oh well. And if we break the chains here, we can actually get a couple of items. And we get the Cling Ring, which we which is going to be really important in this playthrough. Oh yeah, that's right. Bastard Sword, a large straight sword. It is a versatile. It is as versatile as a straight sword, but its heaviness essentially requires it to be used with both hands. Its crushing blows rapidly deplete an opponent's stamina, easily breaking their guards. Mailbreaker, an extremely small rapier. It has no blade and can pierce even hard armor. Rapiers have a narrow attack range, but deal heavy damage. They work well against metal armor and hard scales, but are easily parried and have difficulty breaking the enemy's guard. Cling Ring, a mysterious ring forged in the shape of an eye. Character loses less HP after becoming a soul. Late Moon Grass, a medicinal herb named for the lunar phase, recovers a large amount of the user's HP. The effect of moon herbs changes according to the condition they're in. Late moon herbs are collections of wilted herbs that emit a faint light. Okay, so it has the same description as the full moon grass. Old ragged robes. Robe made of layers of ragged fabric. It's covered with tears, unsightly open seams, and numerous unsightly insects wriggling within it. No sane person would dare wear something like this. Yep, and it basically has any others have the same description. And we also got a jade hair ornament, which a simple jade hair ornament. Could it belong to a poor little girl? And yeah, if we give that ornament to the I forget his name, but if you give it to give it to the person if you give it to the character that stores your items, he will actually give you something. And we talk to this guy over here.
Good day to you. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling you?
I love the accent on this guy.
Be a brave knight or depraved slave, the demons will snatch your soul, and you'll go mad. And those who dare cling to their humanity are hunted down. It is the end of Great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons don't send us to our deaths in battle. There's this skinny fella, clad in fabulous armor, who's always mumbling about some mission. He's another one who's managed to stay sane like yourself. Probably some pampered son by the looks of his attire. I'd give an arm just for the buttons off his shirt. It is the end of Great Boletaria, but...
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's... but yeah, he's talking about a certain NPC that we encounter in this area. And... I'm pretty sure... I can't remember, considering that it's kind of been a little while since I played this game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can actually kill him and get the buttons off his shirt. And you can probably trade them for something, I believe. However, if you help him with his quest, I do remember he does actually give you something.
Thanks for that. Come back soon.
Like I said, I love the accent on this guy. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. It's, there's something that I actually need from him. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot this is an early Souls game, so when it comes to Souls, I have to use them one by one.
Hello, what can I do for you?
Blast, he only has a light crossbow. I never use the light crossbow because you can't aim it.
Go ahead, take your time, not going anywhere.
Oh, you will be after I defeat the next boss, but we'll get to that later. Speaking of the light crossbow, by the way, if you go down here, you can actually just get it anyway. Alright, now I'm just gonna lure this guy down here. Alright, first of all, we're gonna go down here. Nailed it. Jeez, I forgot. I forgot I can't really aim fireballs quite as well with the camera in this game, unlike I could in Dark Souls 2. Alright then. Anything in here? Alright, I already checked that area.
Please, help me. I am trapped, surrounded by Dreglings.
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
But yeah, this is Ostrava. This is who that merchant was talking about.
Now, I must go. There is something for me to take care of.
And there's a reason why I actually there's a reason why I cleared out the enemies, because he will actually linger around this area until you defeat it. He will linger around this area until you defeat it, until you defeat the next boss. Now, if you can actually, now there are at least 3 different times you actually have to that you actually have to save him in the Boltarian Palace, and if you can actually keep him alive, then he will actually give you a key to a specific door where you can find a very special sword. I have no idea how I just got hit by that. I forgot that with these guys, I actually have to trade shots. Now, if you go this way, there are actually some items, but I wouldn't recommend going for those items until much later, because those dragons, well, actually not the dragons to the left, but that dragon over there will actually tear you a new one. Just gonna wait until the dragon wipes these guys out. There we are. Now we're just gonna pull this lever. Alright, moving on. Anyway, I might as well go ahead and read the descriptions of some more items I got. The Scimitar, a small curved sword, a slashing weapon that inflicts heavy damage upon soft flesh, but has a limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. In addition, it causes its targets to bleed. Old Spice. An Old Spice from with a pungently sweet smell restores a large amount of the user's MP. It is made by mixing various fermented ingredients. Because of its sharp smell and often unsavory brewers, it has been prohibited in some regions. Turpentine, a natural resin collected from a pine tree. Apply it as the right-hand weapon to cover it in fire. Cannot be applied to wooden weapons. Firebomb, an oil cask with a flammable cloth plug. Throwing it produces a large flame. Brass telescope, a rare craft which uses warped glass to allow the user to see far off distances clearly. It's most likely an item from the comparatively advanced region of southern Boletaria. Alright, now these guys are phallic slimes. Now they have heavy defense on the in front of them, but if you get behind them, then they're relatively weak. They also do have a chance. They also do have a chance of dropping shards of sharpstone. Alright, time for our next boss. Now, unlike most Souls games, some of the bosses in this game actually do have their own gimmicks to them. Like this boss, for instance, is covered in phallic slimes, which basically means you actually have to take out as many as possible before you can actually attack the boss directly. Of course, if you're playing as a magic user, then if you choose the magician class, then the phallic slimes are actually pretty weak to fire. The only downside is that this boss can be a bit time-consuming because of how many phallic slimes you have to take out. I would deeply appreciate it if you actually got down to where I can hit you. There we are. Okay, that should be enough. There he goes.
The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
But first...
That hairpin, that belongs to my daughter. Then she didn't make it after all. My dearest little baby. May she rest in peace. May I ask you a favor? Would you mind giving up that hairpin? I'd like to have it in memory of my daughter. You're a saint. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I mustn't forget. It's not much, but please accept this as thanks. I'm a bit ashamed to say, but I found it one day, discarded on the main road. But it seems to possess a strange power. Anyway, I feel that you should have it. It will be happier in your hands.
And we get the Ring of Herculean Strength, which basically raises our equipment load. Actually, it raises item burden, my mistake. But, oh well. I will go ahead and equip that for the time being.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch on your belongings, rest assured. You have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you.
Oh, good day to you.
Alright. And considering that I have enough souls to do so, I might as well go ahead and buy the heater shield.
Do come back alive. I need...
You have... You have a heart of gold.
Now there are other NPCs here that we can talk to.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his honorableness. O Lord, punish me, for I have not the strength to punish myself. O honorable, deep within the darkness, where no light shall ever shine,
Whoops.
will you continue to pray, even in such misery? Oh, Honorable One, I hesitate to imagine your present state. Deep within, will you?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you must be another disciple of God. I too am on a quest to fight the demons in the name of the Lord. May I share God's power with you? Do not be bashful. We are both cut from the same cloth.
And this is, and of course, if we have the proper stats, this is where we can learn to use miracles.
A miracle is a heavenly act, but spells are the acts of demons, the work of soul arts. They have similar effects, and yet one is clearly evil, and the other is clearly good. Magicians, in the end, are mere servants of the demons. A miracle is a... I see. You wish to train yourself in stoicism. Very well. I pray we meet again.
Back in the time that I lived below Boletaria Castle, King Allant left on some strange business, then returned with horrible demons in tow. Soon, the land was ravaged by demons and soul-starved madmen. My spine shudders just to think about it. If I did not have my miracle stone shard, a keepsake of my grandfather, I may not have survived. If I did not have my miracle stone shard...
Perhaps you've already heard, but there's another blacksmith at the entrance of Stonefang Mine. He's an eccentric old man, but he knows his trade well. He's the only sane one left in a town of soul-starved men. If you do meet him... yeah, well, forget it. That stubborn old ne'er-do-well will just ignore you. There aren't enough blacksmiths in this temple to handle all the work. Only certain ores can be used to forge weapons, but you'll just have to make do. And be thankful that I'm still of good health. And be thankful. No interest, eh? I can tell you're not gonna last long here.
Hello again. I'm keep. If only something could be done to help her. You have a...
Still alive? I am impressed. This is something that might interest you. The black-robed maiden of the Nexus looks after the flames. She's a morose type, with eyes occluded by wax. She can control souls like no other. Bring her the souls of men and demons, and she will embolden your flesh and blood with their power. But beware. Do not devolve into a foul beast. What's happened? Have you lost your nerve? No matter. Have a seat. We can sit here forever. At least we will be safe.
Oh my god, more creepy laughing.
What's happened? Have you no.
What do you want, brute? I have no use for miscreants like yourself. Away with you.
Well then.
What do you want?
Oh yeah, that's right. If I remember properly, if you have a certain amount of if I remember properly, if you have your magic at a certain level, you can actually purchase some more spells off of them.
The Monumental awaits the above. The Monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
Doesn't look like there's anything over here. I was just curious. And here's the Monumental.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united, owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber. Yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became Monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other Monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
By the power of the Monumentals, the 4 sealed archstones have been released.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber, and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
Of course.
Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon. The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
Alright, that sounds like a plan.
We neutralized the Old One and banned the soul arts. Then we spread the Archstones, and in order to mend reality, monumentals we became. However, man's memory of history is o'ershort, and before long, he repeated his mistakes. The monumentals perished, and the Archstones were long forgotten. And the short-sighted King Alant once again aroused the Old One. The monumentals perished.
Well then. And down here we get a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. Which, as I mentioned before, are basically your are basically the items that revive you from soul form. An ice stone which has deteriorated more than halfway resurrects the user's body. Can only be used in soul form. Once it is used, it crumbles away and is lost. However, like I said, you actually do want to be really careful when reviving yourself, because, like I said, Dark World tendency is a thing. Come to think of it, before I ever give myself any levels, I'm actually gonna upgrade my sword.
I can forge weapons for you, for a fair price. Do come back alive.
I'm just gonna purchase one. I should only need 30 for the time being.
Brave soul, who fears not death. Prithee, lull the Old One back to its ancient slumber.
Ice stones temporarily connect the diffused worlds. Should you lose your physical form, remember the Ice Stone. The maiden controls inhuman souls. This power allows her to aid those who slay demons. Blue Eye Stone. Proof you have been accepted by the Monumental as a demon slayer. When you die and enter soul form, use this to send a soul sign. This item can only be used in soul form. A soul sign is sent to other worlds, and you are summoned from those other worlds as a phantom. If you succeed in helping the summoner defeat a demon, you will regain your body. But yeah, as I mentioned, that's basically another way to revive yourself. However, this only works if you're playing online. White Eye Stone. The white shadow of all eye stones controls the summoning of phantoms. Use this to summon phantoms to their original world. Banished phantoms will not be resurrected. You can also return to your own world from a world you were summoned to as a phantom, though you will not be resurrected. get that out of my inventory because I do not want to use it by accident.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power? So be it. After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let these ownerless souls become thine own. As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here. I keep the I shall await thine return, slayer of demons. I am here for thee, and thee only.
Before I do so, though... Okay, so there is weapon scaling in this game. However, before I go any further, I'm actually gonna go to one of the worlds real quick. I'm gonna go to the Shrine of Storms real quick because there's a certain weapon there that I want. Now I'm not really gonna be going very far in this world, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna be running past. Well, I'm not gonna be running past the skeletons, that's for sure. But I will be running past the archers. Now, the skeletons here actually do drop a lot of souls, so if you ever need them, this is the place to do it. Might as well go ahead and pick up some of the extra items while I'm here. Now I'm not going to be going this way yet because there's a certain skeleton there that will pretty much beat the shit out of me if I do. Kind of figured that would happen. Now, there's another Vanguard over there. However... I can just run past it. Thank you. There we go. That's the weapon I need. Alright, so... anyway. Lead Demon Soul. The soul of the Demon Phalanx. It radiates a strong power. Grants the holder a large number of souls when used. Alternatively, it can be made into spells, miracles, or weapons. Copper Key. A simple copper key. You can faintly make out some mold on it. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. Keelage? I think, Keelage. I don't know. A large and heavy curved sword used mainly for severing. A slashing weapon that inflicts heavy damage upon soft flesh, but has a limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. In addition, it causes its targets to bleed. And we also have the Uchigatana, which is a weapon that I'm going to be using a lot in this playthrough. The only downside with it is that its durability is kind of lacking, but that's kind of to be expected. But it does actually have really good bleed damage. Uchigatana, a keen, thinly bladed katana forged in a distant country. The long black blade is heavier than it looks. It has very high attack power and causes enemies to bleed, but the fragile blade is easily nicked. Alright, I need about 18 strength and 13 dexterity to wield it. The Uchigatana doesn't really scale that well with strength, but at least it scales better with a little better with dexterity.